speaking of laughing, someone who hasn't probably laughed in quite a while is our good friend Paul.
I have been in a war with the bugs, which is a humorless affair.
Oh my god, the fucking only good bug's a dead bug, Paul. I'm feeling you.
We have sprayed. We have bombed this house.
God.
To those who don't know, which is everybody, but you two, the wall to our home has been invaded by bed bugs. They're in, and we let them bite. We slept too tight.
I've said this before, but I think it's very victim blamey that we say don't let the bed bugs bite. Like you're letting them do it. Like
it's your fault. You were asking for it.
I was on day 3 of bug battle, and or maybe it was even day 1, and I was talking to you two, and I was like, I cannot believe that my grandmother put me to bed so many times and said, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite, with utter humor. Like it was like a sweet thing to say. And what she really was doing was putting all of the blame on me if the bed bugs were to bite.
But the only thing I can think of is that is like a prayer to God.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. Like, God, with all of your infinite power, please stop these bugs from biting my children.
God, we know that you don't have power over the bugs. Those were something that Satan made. You didn't create... It's not in the Bible that God ever made bugs. So, please, hold back the evil forces.
They were Satan's first allies, the bugs. He fell from heaven, and he fell into a pile of bugs. They lifted him up.
Well, God does borrow the bugs at one point. One of the plagues is locusts. He is like, hey, Satan, do me a solid. Can I borrow
Yeah, he
this real quick?"
freelances them.
I guess that's post-Satan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or is that pre-Satan? When did Satan happen?
So I talked to some people much smarter than me, and I guess there is no canon start to Satan in the Bible. It's like a up for interpretation sort of thing. I don't know. Christianity is wild.
Where in the timeline does Satan fall?
I'm actually confused about that. When is?
Well, are you talking about New 52 Satan or
no pre Old Testament
about
Satan?
616 Satan, not to confuse with Ultimate Universe Satan.
Because Satan is already like Frieza level when New 52 comes in. When it's the final 4.
That's basically Paradise Lost is the Satan reset.
It is, yeah. Because Enoch's in Paradise Lost, right?
It's the big Superboy punch.
Because Satan's already tickling Jesus's toes in the New Testament. He's coming in and being a little bastard.
I don't know when chronologically Satan like fucks off, if that's like post or pre Garden of Eden. It has to be because it has to.
It has to be before. It's before the Bible even.
Yeah. And
that's the beginning.
Wait, why? Why does it have to be before? Because
Eve is tempted by the apple.
That Satan's apple.
Are we sure that's Satan or not just I guess I just for some reason thought that was another devil. I guess that is Satan. So,
it's Satan.
It's Satan. What the fuck? Where's that story at? Where does that take place? He's
already there in snake form.
So the snake isn't Satan, I guess, but it is. It's another up for interpretation thing. I guess like part of the fun of this whole Bible stuff is you interpreting this stuff. I don't know.
There's a prequel to the Bible that we don't know about?
I bet you guys didn't expect us to talk about this book today.
In fact, we aren't talking about a book today. Surprise.
No. Have you heard the good word of the Chillogy? The Holy Chillogy.
The fortune, the strike, and the holy escape from Karlsville.
How about, or the strike... Mm-hmm. The second, the strike, the pig girl,
the pig,
and the plastic fruit.
I loved Pig Girl.
You liked Pig Girl?
I liked a lot about this. It was not boring. I'll tell you that much.
I actually enjoyed quite a bit of this trilogy as well. Maybe I was in the right mind space for it, but I actually had a lot of fun. I guess we're talking about the book now. I guess we're right into it.
Yeah, Paul, I assume you'll be giving us constant updates on your war with the bugs. We'd said somehow went down theology instead of zoology.
All I ever wanted to talk about with the bugs was that rhyme. Was that don't let the bed bugs bite, and how that was Kevin and I were, and Chad, you were there too, we were talking about it, and we came up with the fact that it was victim blamey, and I thought that was really funny that that's the thing we've been telling people. We've been telling people not to sleep too tight, and we're telling them not to have a good night's sleep. You need to be ever vigilant of the bugs, and they were right.
Yeah, I've been meaning to tell you. I think there is a lullaby that I like more than Bedbugs Bite that I only know through Dead by Daylight. There is a killer called the Huntress that sings like a Russian lullaby while she hunts. That's like her like sound to let you know she's close.
Oh, that's gonna be scary. Only thing scarier than a German lullaby is a Russian lullaby.
Oh, is it like sleep now, you black-eyed pig, fall into a deep pit full of dreams?
No, but I love that. Is that a real one?
Yeah, that's like an Icelandic one or a Finnish one, something like that.
I like this one because I don't know the direct translation, but it's essentially some lullaby warning a child to not sleep too close to the edge of the bed, or a wolf will bite them and drag them off into the woods.
Wow,
that's a good lesson.
Which feels more like real advice than Bedbugs Bite.
Well, at least that is like, don't like, I mean, position your body, but body positioning, something we're very aware of in video games, is, you know, keep it in the center, keep it in the center of the bed. That
protect your hitbox.
That's something you can do, but don't sleep too tight. I mean, you know, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just, am I like, is this like a Freddy situation? Am I like supposed to be like not sleeping? Just don't sleep ever. You know, that one has good advice. The one that you had, Chad. I know had good.
Yeah,
advice.
I think it's more practical advice even in this modern day. Paul, welcome back, by the way, from the death realm that you were last episode.
I had to claw my way. I was going to ask what the real reason I wasn't, quote unquote, real reason was I wasn't here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Paul. I killed you. I
What happened? Why did you kill me? I mean, I died, so like I didn't get to ask.
Well, we, out of respect and in mourning, we didn't go too deep into the reason.
Oh, okay, that's fair. You didn't speak ill of
I didn't want to be like, haha, he's fighting the bugs and the bugs got him, because maybe that would have happened. You know?
I almost succumbed to them for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I wanted to help you out with the bug situation, and I just AoE'd your house, and you were caught standing in the purple.
The number of times that I've AoE'd you in Deep Rock Galactic, I think you owed me one, Kevin.
I have never AoE'd anyone with my frost gun in Deep Rock Galactic. No one has ever been hurt.
No, never. With your drills either.
Never happened.
No. But I'm back. I have survived. My spirit has been rezzed.
It's good to have you back, Paul.
I'll never let them bite again.
Can I ask you a personal question? Did you guys like go through kind of an audit of who you've had let into your life, and you're like, who gave us the bedbugs?
Oh, of course. Yeah, you have to think of every possible vector that they could have used to get into the home, for sure.
Paul, I know you like to go around Philly and find discarded mattresses and just kind of roll on them. Do you think that might have led to it?
Alley jumps? Yeah, that's what I love to do. That's one of my favorite weekend activities.
Yeah. Is that when you jump from a building onto a mattress?
Yeah, you go do a little alley jump. And you jump out of a window. Yeah, and I'm still going to do it. I'm not going to stop. I blame this is on somebody else. As someone who has been victim blamed, now I will blame others. I must pass the blame on.
That's how it works, man. It's how a fucking endless cycle.
You know what else is an endless cycle?
The Chillogy cycle. Great job. Great.
The eternal love of the Chillogy. May Karl watch over all of us.
Bless.
That's right.
Bless Karl.
We are covering this. Oh, by the way, welcome to Goosebuds.
Hello.
Welcome to Goosebuds.
I'm Chad.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Paul.
And we someone recommended this on our subreddit that we check out.
Yeah, let me go find who it was so we can give him.
Find out who we need to blame. For I had somehow never seen or heard of these episodes.
Me either.
A 3-set episode series on the Goosebumps TV show called The Chillogy that is not based on anything from the books.
Nope.
R.L. Stine's name is on it only in Goosebumps alone. This is an original tale told on the TV series.
A beautiful original tale posted on our subreddit by Nate Guerra, who posted, "What can we do?" and asked anything to get the boys to converse about the Karlsville trilogy. That's all you had to do, Nate. You just posted about it and it worked.
Yeah.
Your wish is granted.
Congrats.
This is my first Goosebuds TV show episode.
No way.
Really?
Yeah.
How did we do that?
We didn't do it last year.
We've watched a few other ones, and we watched I guess there's been kind of offshoots, by the way, like Strained Peas and ones where they're like based off short stories. and then they are adapted a little bit. This is a fully original.
I thought they did a good job of capturing the Goosebumps vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
You could have fooled me that R.L. Stine had no impact on this one, because you have everything. You have kids with one trait.
That is their fatal flaw, is their only trait.
Yeah, kids with only one trait, and it's a fatal flaw, and they never learn anything, and what they do doesn't matter.
Nothing. Let's get this out of the way. Nothing in this thing matters. Nothing.
No. These kids have zero agency over the things that happen to them.
They have zero agency, and the enemy, the villain, the antagonist, when we get to their motivation, it's just pure nihilism.
Yeah. I want to shout out Daniel Cash, who plays Karl in all three episodes.
Daniel Cash, who was Private Spunkmeyer in Aliens.
Yep.
And I was looking through his IMDb, this Daniel Cash gets fucking work.
This dude works. He's on Star Trek Discovery as well.
Oh, I saw that.
I didn't see that. Okay. Yeah, I wonder, who's he playing on Discovery?
This is him on Discovery. He's like a cool,
dinosaur
smuggler.
alien.
Yeah, he's like a Triceratops smuggler lord guy.
Cool.
What? Oh, man. That's cool.
And he's also on Star Trek Discovery out of makeup as some guy in an episode I haven't seen yet because I only kind of watched Discovery when my roommate's watching it. But I loved him as the smuggler alien lord dude. He's fucking awesome.
He kind of looks like the Satan from Legend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Satan from Legend, a little bit of the dude from Nip Tuck.
He's also got that sexy look when he's that smuggler alien. Like he's
all right. Let's say Well, I was gonna say Karl's pretty sexy in this.
Karl is cool. Karl is cool, filled with unbelievably ridiculous lines.
Yes,
and he's into it. Daniel Cash is in 100%. He gives us a cavalcade of characters.
I immediately looked up his IMDb because I wanted to know, like, this is one of those guys. This is like Artie from Pete and Pete, where we look him up. Like, that's Toby Huss, who's like done Shakespeare.
Yeah,
right. This is an actor who has put in the work and time, and he accepted this role. Like, you're telling me I get to play not just Karl from Karlsville. Mm-hmm. I get to play like 15 personas. I'm on board.
It's a tour de force. It's a true tour de force. It's seriously incredible. Like it starts out, and when you first meet Karl in the first episode, you're like, I'm on board with this guy. He's hilarious. He's dropping these ridiculous lines again, like the opening line to this show, to this series of episodes is Karlsville is open. Time to play. And then an incredible music sting happens, which is actually scary. Can we put it in the episode? Can we put it into the episode maybe?
Karlsville is open. Time to play.
It definitely was written for this show. I guarantee you the song Money has never been played
Oh my god, I
else.
love Money. I Need Money is so good.
Like, okay, all the music in these episodes is actually really, really good.
It's got,
like,
there's a music...
What? Okay, am I taking crazy
pills? No. Chad, the I Need Money is not good, but the actual, the incidental music is good. Kevin, it is good.
I Need Money is funny. I find that good. But also, like, the background music, I think, is phenomenal in this.
It has notes of... It, like, almost has, like, John Carpenter notes to it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What? Do you not agree, Chad? Please tell me you agree.
I guess I need to re-listen to just the music. You know what? The music's doing a lot of work because these Chillogy episodes are swinging and 180ing into different directions constantly, and the music has to do a lot of heavy lifting for tone. Yeah. Because otherwise it is a bunch of kid actors walking around on one street.
Oh, these kids are resilient as hell. The way that they overcome the crazy events that occur to them within an instant.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Chad. They are shifting gears from like being a child to being a child trapped in a miniature town so quickly.
First girl goes from like, oh no, I have been sucked into a miniature town, a la kind of that idea in Beetlejuice, but Beetlejuice had more thought to it. And then tension, scary music. Where am I? now, oh, my new best friend Karl. Who's Karl? I'm a savvy business person. Let's make a deal. Cut to, I love money. I'll show you a good time. Money, money, money.
You mean when Karl?
Money.
You mean when Karl introduces himself on the phone and says Karl, but my friends call me Karl.
Yeah, Karl rules. He's got a lot of slappy energy to him.
Yes, yeah, big chaos energy.
I was thinking about that while I was watching this. We've talked on the podcast before that Goosebumps, for all of its legacy, doesn't have too many like iconic antagonists.
Right,
You have
right.
Slappy. You have Curly, the mascot. That's
Who
never
wasn't
in anything other than the book covers.
Yeah, Curly
and,
was
like,
never in anything, right? Never in.
And then maybe like I don't know the hamster from Monster Blood, like whatever. So Karl represents what could be a really needed thing for this series of kind of a very like charismatic, antagonist.
There's nothing to say that this isn't a prequel. This Karl isn't the Satan of this world, a la the Bible conversation we had earlier, and that he wasn't birthed in this non-canonical trilogy, and then was the person who created all of the chaos in the later books of the Goosebumps series. There's nothing that says that isn't true.
I had so many questions on what Karl was.
I mean, we're going to talk about all 3 episodes, and we're going to try and get to the bottom of that. But I don't think there's an answer for you, Chad. I'm sorry.
No, there's definitely not. I don't think the writers knew what Karl was. Let's set down the play place for the trilogy.
Before we go into the series, can we talk about just real quick we did talk about the fact that this is a trilogy for the TV show only, not based on any books.
No.
Written by 2 series. I looked them up. Billy Brown and Dan Angel were series writers. They've written on the show. So they're very well versed in the RL canon, and they've also written in all the new stuff as well. Like they've written in 2015, the show that came out back in 2015. They've also written for.
Yeah, these 2 dudes don't seem like they're writing partners, but they've both worked a lot on kids horror. I mean, one of them was like an SNL writer in the 80s. These are
Wow.
2 dudes who do comedy horror, probably more leaning into comedy than horror.
Yeah. And I think there are some actual scary moments in these 3 episodes, but I think this one definitely, just with Karl's like puns, Karl's lines of incredible bravado, which make almost no sense, are funny. I think he's a funny character, and it's strange, it's wild. Chad, you said I don't know that I could make sense of these episodes, and I want to say off the top that I also could not, but within the first 5 minutes of this first episode, Squeal of Fortune, I chose to give myself to the episodes.
There's not a lot going on in these episodes, really. Like, we don't have to spend a ton of time on plot, I don't think.
I am thinking about how in our Holy Chillogy, in this religion that by the way, we need to come back and revisit the Ice Church at some point, because I think Ice Church has legs.
Oh yeah,
Ice Church.
There's something here you just said, Paul, of like just give yourself up to it. Just let go, let God with the Holy Chillogy, and this is a story about getting sucked into a model town.
It's a model town. Okay, so we're introduced to our 3 characters, right?
Yeah. Jess, who is a Wall Street Bets.
She is 100% Wall Street Bets. It's incredible. Her room.
Yeah.
It gets the point across. I'll tell you that much.
She even has. I immediately thought Wall Street Bets. When you go into her room, she has binders of like high risk, medium risk, low risk investments. She has well labeled
drawers of coins, jewels, and cards.
I love the Batman labels on everything, like the big white label that says jewels on it. In the drawer. It's fucking great.
She needs to be able to access them immediately. Every second wasted is profit lost.
Oh my god! And she's got her computer up, which has a live animated 3D graphics of the markets going on them, which don't even exist now. They still use line charts.
Yeah. And also, the most Wall Street Bets thing, she's got pictures of big apes on her wall.
Does she?
Yeah. She has like a big old gorilla poster over bed. She predicted the apes together strong, hold diamond hands, This girl is a fucking killer.
She's got a proto NFT on her wall, like a fucking asshole. And the whole point of her story is that she's a fucking asshole.
Yes. She shakes her fucking brother down with a vig. She's like, the market's closed at this percentage, so I'm going to tack on a 3%, and you better bet that fucking doubles every day, Sam. You deadbeat.
Not only that is for her brother who's saying, hey, we should get our parents something for, I don't know, it was like birthday or Mother's Day or whatever.
Anniversary.
Their anniversary, and he puts it in terms she can understand. He's like, I'm going to get him a frame. It's silver. We'll be able to resell it, Jessica.
And she's like, I will only loan you the money. I will not chip in anything for the gift for our parents. She fucking kind of sucks.
Yeah, she's the worst. And the first thing we see her do is essentially swindle our other two characters, Matthew and Todd Erickson, out of a $2 baseball card. She gets it for $1 for reasons.
Well, the beginning of the scene's very confusing. First, we're given information about Todd. We're given information about Todd that I don't know is relevant, in that he likes to eat donuts while holding valuable, quote-unquote, valuable cards. I'm not sure what information that imparted on us about, because Todd's fatal flaw is that he loves to gamble, I think.
Yeah. Also, Todd's donut is full of ketchup or whatever. Like, when he bites into the donut and there's that splat, it's like clearly someone has like a squeezy thing full of maybe ketchup.
Oh, maybe ketchup.
They couldn't get another jelly donut on set that day for the effect of dropping it on.
God forbid we buy a can of a jar of Welch's. You know, like we could have done something here, but they used ketchup.
Guys, this whole series of episodes, I'm both impressed, and they were cutting corners.
They were cutting corners, but I felt like there was money in there still. Like the CG budget,
they put all their money
the CG.
in the fake signs for stores.
Oh my
God,
God, dude!
They put all their money.
Hold on, I had to write down the one sign, which was "Little Toys for Brats." I think.
Yeah.
Little Brats Toy Store. That's what it was.
Yep. Little Toys for
Brats.
Yeah. So. He spills raspberry ketchup on the Cal Ripken Jr. rookie card,
which then introduces us to Matthew, who we find out is a card connoisseur and a baseball fan, a big baseball fan. And they talked about Cal Ripken, which just took me back. But anyways, he hides the cards, and in my mind, so the way I read that instantly is like what we're supposed to read it. He sees Jessica coming. He goes, Jessica Walters. My mind instantly goes to, he's got a crush on Jessica Walters. He's afraid of her seeing the cards because she's going to be a card dork.
Nope. She's big business, and she's going to swindle Matt out of the card because
the way she's going to do it is she's going to, she's smart. She's wily. Jessica's a wily one. She goes, she knows the cards are there, right? She's like, got any cards for sale? No, Jessica, no cards for sale. How about I buy the desk and everything in it, Matthew? And then she works her magic. He admits that the cards are there, and then she swindles them out of the cards somehow for reasons, like Kevin said, for reasons.
No, she didn't make a compelling argument. I kept watching it going like, so this is, again, I think a Cal Ripken rookie card is actually worth something. Like,
without a doubt.
That's something. And they wanted, I think they offered for 2. She says 1. And then because I guess no one else is, this is a yard sale, by the way. Like, you're not going to like flip that card for money.
This is Todd and Matthew at a yard sale that their family is having. And their father is very rich, which we find out later.
Well, is he? Maybe that was a lie.
That was a convenient lie.
The reason she gets the card for $1 is because they can't break a 20.
Oh, that's right. That's why it happened. Because she does offer him $20 for the desk to the mom.
Yeah,
and we all know that if you can't break it, you have to accept whatever money you can take from them, right?
Also, if you buy something, you automatically own everything else that is in it.
These are little known but very important flea market facts. So if you take these to a flea market, you will get deals.
This girl is a hustler.
Yeah.
And she has acquired the Cal Ripken card, goes back, and I believe was it discovered in the trash as well?
No, it's
the town.
I think we're supposed to assume that they just moved into this house.
Yeah.
Right. That's true, because she is, after she said her brother, I will give you no money other than high advanced loan.
Mhm.
I care nothing for my family. I only care about diamond hands.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Har-
she
and
is told
Harambe.
by her mom to go clean the attic.
Mhm.
And Harambe. I love that, Paul. Yeah, so she's sent upstairs to clean the attic, even though there's no profit in it. Because she's basically a Ferengi.
Well, actually, there is some profit. There is some. Oh my god, she is. She fucking is. Wow. And there's a connection
She
to
used
the
the
universe.
rules of acquisition to talk about it.
Well, she uses a rule of acquisition because, well, her mom uses one against her, which is that she will take
Yeah.
the money from her allowance and give it to her brother, who will waste it. So she is connived into doing this with money.
Well,
This
that's
is
not
one of the
profit.
moments
That's just
where,
avoiding
like-
a loss.
Right. Sure.
Yeah,
fair.
There's a little moment where like you see the brother arguing with her of like she's like, what do you waste your money on like on toys and games and why? He's like, because it's fun. And then like you think that's going to be kind of what the theme of the episode is about, right?
Mhm.
Ebenezer Scrooge versus Bob Cratchit. None of that matters.
Yep.
None of this comes into play in any way other than her getting punished, I guess, at the end.
So she goes upstairs. She finds a miniature town.
And there's cool shots here. There are cool shots with the miniature town in the foreground, and I think they don't look real, but it's kind of fun in a really like stylized way.
Yeah, in a film school student project kind of way. This episode has a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I feel.
For Canadian local TV, they're cheating a lot of like, this will make it look like she's where the camera's down on the little miniature town
Right.
looking up at her giant head.
Right.
The miniature town, which notably does not have figures of anyone in it, right?
No.
Like, we look at the town all the time, and there's never, like, little people in there.
But sometimes there are. But we
But
just don't see
sometimes
them.
there are, but whatever. Anyway,
It doesn't matter, but it matters.
her phone rings, or so she thinks, but it's actually the little phone in the town, and when she picks it up, she's transported into Karlsville.
And Karlsville, by the way, maybe just they didn't get a chance to explore the residential parts of Karlsville. Karlsville seems to be a baseball field and some ironworks.
Yeah, it's Twin Peaks and Field of Dreams smashed together.
I remember watching this going, I would love to see what David Lynch does with this trilogy.
Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know if you noticed, but at the end, there's like a remix of the Goosebumps song, which I don't think is the normal ending. I think they would just reuse the classic Goosebumps theme for the credits. Maybe I'm wrong, but there was like a re-edit, and it was cool, of the theme song. And there's like some Lynchian spark electric noises in it that were giving me some serious Lynch vibes at the end there.
As someone who's never seen a single David Lynch thing, I'm kind of assuming the whole Lemonade sequence is what a David Lynch movie is like.
Well, I think 2 and 3 have bigger Lynch vibes for sure.
Anything that's got like that
Heightened reality
vibe, yeah, definitely.
So, what's her name? Amanda Hug and Kiss? What's her name?
Jessica Walters.
Jessica Walters.
You're sounding like Carl here because he's like Jessica Walters, whatever, and he doesn't care about her. I love Carl. I love Carl.
By the way, small note that actress, I believe, is also in another Goosebumps episode.
She is.
So that they just like, the kids won't watch it, just don't fucking care. You're in this one now, too. You're a different character. She is pretty down to clown immediately. There's about 20 seconds of her going, wait, where am I? What is this place? And then as soon as Carl's like, I have a business proposition. You're with me. She's like, deal. Shakes a hand.
He hits her with this perplexing bit of existentialism where she goes, how did I end up here? And he goes, who knows how they end up where they do? It just says something along those lines. And I was just like, damn, he got her. And then from there on, she's like, all right, how do I make money here? And she's in. And then he takes her over to Nikki, his son, or something, who has
daughter
who has the best toupee I've ever seen in my life.
I was obsessed with Nikki because Nikki seems to be the only person in Karlsville besides Carl that's like aware that this is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think it's implied that like in the third one we find out that every member of Karlsville is essentially kidnapped by Carl,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and forced to be there.
Yeah, I was getting the vibe that they came from most of the people had like kind of like a 50s or actually no. the one lady they meet has like a 50s vibe, which feels Lynchian. She has like this like 50s like diner look, right? Like diner host look. And then Nikki has like a 70s like Brady Bunch vibe going on.
She looks like an alien from the 70s. Little Nikki, not Adam Sandler. Little child Nikki.
Yep. There's another 6 song drop for the Lemonade because Karl
gonna say
Karl has his own brand. We didn't talk a ton about the music, but the music of the I Need Money track, but I love it when they're like, give me some cash. There's some great lines in it. This one, I didn't write down any specific lines, but there's a song about lemonade that is sung here.
I wrote down the entire lyrics of the Karl's Lemonade jingle, and I will read it dramatically. You got it made in the shade with Karl's Lemonade.
Love it.
The idea here is that Karl's Lemonade is a good product that people want. And Jess is only given one rule: don't raise the price.
Yep.
Just sell lemonade. And so we think Karl is supposed to be some sort of like justice figure, like maybe trying to help.
Right.
He says something like, I don't want to be accused of like unfair business practices.
Yeah.
Right.
But like he also then he's like wearing like a snakeskin suit. Like he's not not a trustworthy man.
All the suits that Karl wears are incredible.
Oh, the suits. Suits. The many looks of Karl. Ooh, Karl Knave, I believe is his name. The many looks of Karl Knave are... He's serving them up. He's
got the drip.
He's got hella drip. He's got some like Humphrey Bogart shit going at the beginning. You know? Oh my God.
So in this like what looks like something from the Steelworkers Union, this abandoned street that is, I just want to call it the set direction. They were trying really hard because this is supposed to be like Main Street of Karlsville, and you can tell that there's like a long shot down of a bunch of fake store signs, like the aforementioned toys for little brats, and there's like Chiller's ice cream.
It looks like they put toy store signs on the set of Peaky Blinders. That's what this looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally what like Gangs of New York.
Right.
And then to make these places seem like stores, because there's no doors or there's no people, they just put random props around. So there's just like a long truck past like a popcorn place, a suit of armor, like whatever.
Paint buckets.
I think it works in like we have this one area that we're allowed to film in, and we need it to be surreal. But this kind of works perfectly because Karl is sort of like a business tycoon, who like would own a town and then abandon it and let it all go to shit.
Right.
Like,
it does feel a little bit like a Sim City house village where you just kind of like bought a bunch of stuff and then didn't really like arrange it. You're like, I'll get back to it later.
Right, like you unlocked the paint bucket thing and you were like, well, I'll put the paint buckets over here, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, and then little toys for brats can go over here. Sure.
I did feel like it started to drag a little bit in this lemonade scene.
It took a while to get there because people are coming up and they are horny for this lemonade. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And Jessica, being a capitalist piece of shit, instantly knows that she can capitalize on this, literally. And she starts raising the price, reducing the amounts that she's pouring for them in front of the customers. They're watching her do this.
They're not being very subtle when they're like and Nikki's like, how you shouldn't do that. And at one point Jessica, pours, I guess, just like normal water.
Yeah, she just cuts it. Yeah,
dilute the lemonade.
Yeah.
And Nikki's like, that's wrong. I'm like, okay. I mean, do you know what lemonade stands are anyway? When people are the people lined up have no worries about this.
So here's a rule of improv that I think this makes a little more clear, this little episode. We all know yes and, right? Which is keep things moving, like build on stuff people are saying. But sort of a subsect of yes and is no bargaining. Because bargaining is boring. It's delaying something that's about to happen, being like, I'll give you $1, make it $2. Oh no, make it $1.50. Like it's just we're delaying like the thing that's about to happen.
Right.
And I get that basically this is Jess's whole character is bargaining, but it doesn't make for terribly compelling dialogue.
No, the dialogue's pretty boring. There is the ridiculous scene of I don't know what it's supposed to mean, but Karl turns up a temperature gauge on a light pole and makes the world turn hot, which is great. And the temperature's approaching like 110 degrees, so people are going to start dying. Wet bulb syndrome is about to start happening in this world.
It gets up to 120 at the end. It's like everyone's roasting.
And yet Jess is still like in a coat. Like she's still
right. The kids' clothes are very like they're using them on purpose in these scenes. Like I think for costuming, and they hold tight to them. Like Matthew's baseball uniform comes in later, and Jen and I were watching this, and she was like, he needs to take that baseball uniform off. It's disgusting that he's wearing that in bed.
He had cleats in bed. He had his cleats on in bed.
He has his cleats on in bed. It's disgusting. So she's just frenzied with business though. So are the people who want this lemonade. They're wiping their brows with money. They're just wiping sweat away with their money. And
the way a Morton Joe gives water to the people.
Do not become addicted to the lemonade.
Like there is a horde of like NPCs gathering at the only business in town to get more of this sweet lemonade that probably has cocaine in it.
And one of them gives like the most like oblivion NPC dialogue ever, where he's just like in a single breath, "Good day, a little something to wet the whistle."
Dude, that guy comes up right after. Comes right up, and it's as soon as this is where Jessica gets the idea, right? She's like, oh, they're all just NPCs. I can take advantage of them. And that's when she starts raising the money.
So she breaks Karl's rule, and she raises the prices, and she cuts the lemonade with water, and she like serves less lemonade per cup, like all trying to squeeze as much money out of this as possible. I don't know why she does this, because it's really not a good business tactic.
What was that all about? Yeah, you're right. What's coming up? I'm sorry.
She pretends they're all out of lemonade when they have like one pitcher left.
Which, like, you were gonna get there, Jessica. It was gonna happen. You would have had this moment literally.
There are like 50 people and many extras as they could get hammering for lemonade in this back end alley.
No need to manufacture demand here. Demand is happening.
And the extras are doing work in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
They're actually really good. But she starts to auction off the quote-unquote last cup of lemonade to the highest bidder. And when the crowd surges forward to collect the lemonade, either she or Nikki accidentally knocks the pitcher over, and the crowd turns on them. And how exactly is she turned into a pig?
I don't know. I think Karl shows up and realizes he's always known what she was going to do, and he basically curses her. He thinners her, and into a pig.
He pigs her, but like in the least, I would say, least interesting way possible, where he early on just said you wouldn't want to be a greedy little piggy, which is the only time that's mentioned, and then it's just because she's greedy, she transforms into a pig with a pig face and pig hands.
The CG's not great here, but I will say though that the costuming was cool. The actual makeup was cool.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Even.
Yes. That
definitely seemed to be the actual actress. I was trying to tell if that was like a stunt double, because like at some points like, you don't need to have the kid wear that makeup. That is unrecognizable as a person. That could be a stunt actor at this point.
Because she takes the spill too.
Yeah.
She takes a digger right into some mud.
Into the Karlsville mud pit, which we see a couple times throughout the episode.
Yeah. So the comrades of Karlsville have unionized, and they're now driving out the capitalist oppressor.
Yep.
And screaming, "Get the pig!"
Because Karl says pig goes great with lemonade.
I don't think it does. Like chicken and lemon is more of a combination.
Yeah,
but, okay.
yeah. I mean, maybe barbecue. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't had Karlsville sweet and sour pork yet.
Their vinegar, their vinegary barbecue that they have in Karlsville. Karl hits us with another great pun here. You said after she takes the digger in the mud and says, "You hogged the profits." Karl is the pun king. Karl is the best. Karl is killing it in this episode.
Yeah, I love Karl in this episode.
What is Karl's end game?
No clue.
Like
No clue.
Like it's revealed in episode 3, but like following through. So this is, if I may, half diatribe on me being upset about this 20-year-old piece of media. Karl is definitely doing Faustian bargains, I guess.
Yeah.
But not really. It's mostly child gets randomly sucked into thing by just proximity.
Yeah.
Like when Jessica answers the call, it's not a, hey, would you like to come make some money? And she says, yeah. She literally just picks up the phone and gets sucked in.
Right.
So she's trapped.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the other boys.
Yeah,
And
Karl's a living monkey's paw, where he's just like, here's why you should never want anything.
Right. Do not strive. Do not strive for a thing.
He's essentially like punishing them in these stories, but while Jessica has,
I got it. I got it. These are the three fallacies of youth, and one is that is that through hard work and determination you will pull yourself up by your bootstraps and become rich. Jessica, false.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 is that you will become a great sports star, that you're destined to be a sports star. No,
You're special. You're
special. The odds
When
are
you're 10, everyone's going to play for the NBA.
Nope.
Yeah.
And the odds are against you. Nope. Last one, lottery.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So the three things they're saying are hard work doesn't exist. You're not special, and you certainly aren't lucky.
Yep.
Like,
It's a dark, dank tale.
yeah. How does she get out?
Well, yeah, I thought this was kind of like another one of, Jessica didn't really do much to get there, but she is being chased by the Horde, including a butcher, implying that they are going to literally eat the rich.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she is clutching her garbage pail kid's lunchbox filled with money.
Uh-huh.
Halfway through the chase down the same street, she throws all the money out at them, which should seem like a moment of like growth, that she gave up the thing that she wanted.
Mhm.
It doesn't really buy her any time other than gives her a few seconds to find the phone box.
Mhm.
She's like, oh, I'll call my way out.
I'll call 911. She tries to call 911, which someone answers and says, sorry, 911's not in service anymore. I'm just here just to tell you that it's not in service. Goodbye.
It's Karl. Karl picks up to tell
Is
her
it
that.
Karl that says that? I didn't realize
If it had cut to Karl in a policeman uniform going, too busy, can't get down there. Amazing. This would suddenly be my favorite
No time for
episode.
pigs. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Of course she calls the cops. She's a pig.
Damn.
If she had said, like, oh, I've been turned into a pig, and he's like, oh, excuse me, and he hangs up, fantastic.
Would have been great.
But-
yeah, I got you.
So-
That would have been cool.
Gets an answered received message. Then I thought this was a strange beat. Looks to the top of the phone booth where there's like you should always call home.
Oh, I missed that part. I think I was writing down the 911 or the 911 part, and I was like, I missed this line. I didn't even see this.
There's just kind of like fake moments of like solving something that doesn't go anywhere. Of like her and she calls home and no one answers.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a nothing burger. That did nothing. And then she's like, oh, I can call my cell phone. The cell phone I had when I had to call Wall Street, and she calls her cell phone.
And her little brother, who I assume is named Stinko,
Little Stinko comes by
and saves her by answering the phone.
Yeah, he answers the phone, which pulls her out of the cardboard little town dimension.
The rules and mechanics for how you get in and out of this world are shifting constantly, just like this world. And the physics of the miniature world, everything is changing constantly.
And Stinko's like, "This is such a cool little town. Why don't you give it to me?" And she's like, "How about I give you $50 to shut the fuck up and we never talk about this again?" And they leave it on the curb.
Yeah, they go and take it out to the trash.
They take it out to the trash, and then Todd and Matthew are doing their late night trash scounging, which they always do. where they stumble upon the wonderful town of Karlsville, the miniature town of Karlsville, and horny for a deal, they take it.
I just want to call out, there's these kids in these stories, because they need to, are all fascinated with this model town.
Yeah.
This is not a good looking model town. Not to knock the set designer. It also seems like they, to their credit, it seems like they found the locations of where they're going to shoot and then built a town around.
Oh, without
it.
a doubt, yeah.
The Peaky Blinders like docks are in the set.
Mm-hmm.
So That's cool. That's cool they built it to it. But there's just like, it just looks like a piece of garbage. And I don't know why all these kids are like, hot damn, can't wait to take up my entire bedroom by putting this in here.
If I were a kid in this time and I found that, I would have been like, cool, I'm halfway to wargaming. I'm halfway to wargaming. That's what I would have thought, and I would have definitely
the turn of the third episode being Todd like putting his Warhammer 40,000 figurines in the town, and then Karl having to fight them would be amazing.
That would be cool if you put like a toy in there, if it became real. That would be a cool turn of.
Hell yeah! Actually, well, it kind of does. They do kind of do that in this with the third episode. That things in the real world do become objects.
All right. Well, let's get through the second episode.
Yeah.
Which focuses on.
Hold on. So sorry. Can we just talk about the bookends of these episodes? Show us Tiny Karl.
Yeah, Tiny Karl. And whenever you see, so Karl, when we see him normally, is a handsome actor with a clean, regular skinned face. But anytime we see him in one of the bookends, he is Plasto Karl. And
what the fuck are you guys talking about? I never saw him.
He in the beginning and the end. In the beginning and the end, Kevin, they show him. The first part is the great line of Karlsville is open, time to play. And in that scene, he has open up the episode and look at it. He has plastic face in that scene.
Yeah, he's even doing like kind of like mannequin poses. Like he is in that moment, and it's shot like on the little miniature set. There is a little tiny Karl. Like Kevin said earlier, I think the story wants us to assume that like there are little miniature, log, like Lego men walking around. We just can't do that, and the budget couldn't pull that off. But close up, while the brothers put the town on their skateboard, I guess, and push them home, it cuts to like plastic Karl, tiny, looking up at them, just going like, "This now, I'm going to be mean. No more Mr. Nice Guy." And he's popping and locking, and it is bizarre.
I have no memory of this.
Yeah, he's plastic faced. He's got the like shiny he's got the face of the people of the third episode.
I believe you. I must have been looking down at my notes too.
It's a quick scene, and I gotta say, with the quality that we watch these in, not great.
No. This episode series it was too big for what I think the production could pull off. They are constantly trying some stuff. They're doing the best they can, so I don't want to be too hard on them. But there are things of like, well, sometimes they're plastic, and then sometimes in some shots they're not at all. Sometimes in the third episode, they just have Halloween store masks over them.
I gotta say, they really went for it. This feels like it was like a TV movie.
I think the most audacious episode is probably the second one with our baseball player.
Yeah, this one is definitely the Lynchian episode,
yeah.
I feel.
This one is strike 3, you're doomed.
We shift our focus to Matthew Erickson, the baseball star, except he sucks at baseball.
It's pretty great. His mom is like, he's all dressed up. He loves baseball. He's sitting in his room getting finalized and ready to go out to his baseball game, and his mom's like, "Matthew, almost time to go," and he just goes, "Whatever." Which is really strange because you could tell this kid is psyched about baseball. We find out that he's not good at baseball. He's the worst player on his team. And in a pretty hilarious sequence of baseball playing, some events unfold that I think were just incredible.
The coach wants to keep him benched because it's bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, whatever.
Bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, 4-1 score. Next batter's up. Can win this game for Matt's team, which should have been called the Money Pigs, but they weren't called that. They were called the Tigers.
Love that.
Matthew's father interrupts the game, runs up to pauses the game. Pause the game. A parent announcement. And he goes up to the coach and says, "The rules clearly state that all boys must play at least one game each season." And the coach is like, "I gotta fucking do it. This sucks. Of course I gotta do it."
I thought it was the rival. I thought it was the rival coach.
No,
I thought it was the coach on the other team.
It's
the rival coach points out you got to play that kid, and then his coach, our hero's coach, is like, "Well, we're gonna lose then. Fine." And then like he has no faith in him.
He completely undermines Matthew's confidence. He takes out his star player at the time for some reason. He doesn't just like change him out for one of the runners. He doesn't pinch runner him or anything like that.
Yeah, they could have put him in outfield. But instead, you're up to bat now.
And the kid that's at bat says, "But I'm the star." Who
Yeah.
knows he's the star of the team?
You're not the star, you're the ace.
You're the ace. He takes out the star. Jen made a hilarious point, which is, at any point, this coach is a terrible coach. He does some really bad coaching in the next thing that I'll get to. But Jen made a great point. At any point in the season, if he knew about this rule of every player must play at one point, this team is in the championship. They probably had a game where they fucking routed somebody. Get this guy in as a pinch hitter during one of those routes. You're done. Matthew's off for the rest of the season.
That's like a basic rule of like little league sports, though.
What's
It's
that?
Like everyone has to have a turn up at bat. Like,
Oh, right. Yeah.
There's a lot of inconsistencies about how baseball works in this episode. I will.
Well,
say.
once we get to the chaos dimension, yeah.
The chaos dimension is great.
But his teammates are kind of supportive of him. I really like that. They like kind of give him a pat on the back when he's like leaving.
Yeah, when he fails. Yeah, definitely. I did like the coach's coaching after this. When he removes his star, he goes up to Matthew, who has to go in and bat, who's all pressure's on Matt to win this game, right? He goes up to him and he goes, "Close your eyes. Maybe you'll get a hit." So much for coaching, because one, undermined his confidence further. Right? He's already done it once. Second, keep your eye on the ball. That's like the number one rule of baseball, and he tells him to do the opposite of that.
It seems like when he tries to do baseball, he's very bad at it.
Okay, so maybe he's thinking it's a Zenitsu situation.
I would at least tell a kid to keep your eyes open. Or, if you want to be a real hard ass, just be like, lean into it. Get a walk.
Yeah, get hit with a pitch.
Take a ball.
Keep the fucking rally going, baby. Get us a run. Get us a free run.
Try to bunt every time. Can you bunt? Can you please bunt for us?
Bunt it with your body. Matthew loses the game. Matthew
loses the game. He gets a speech from his dad, who tries his best. I thought it was sweet how his dad like tries to cheer him up. He's like, "You're good at other things. Like
baseball's not everything."
A dad saying baseball's not everything, I could not relate to.
I liked Mr. Erickson. I thought he was a good dad.
Yeah, it's a sweet dad.
He's a good dad.
A sweet dad. He tries to encourage him. He doesn't even yell at him for wearing his filthy ass baseball uniform in his bed.
Yeah, including his fucking cleats.
Disgusting. Like he gives him the speech and everything. It seems like a nice moment. And Matt is sitting there after his dad walks out, throwing his baseball in the air, when all of a sudden the baseball magically gets sucked into the model town. And then Matthew gets sucked into the magic model town as well, while looking at his baseball. And we enter Chaos Ball.
Yeah. So Karl appears and offers Matt the chance to play for the Karlsville Crunchers.
He's cool. He's got like a New York vibe going on here.
Yeah, he's doing a little bit of an East Coast. He is both the coach and the owner and the announcer. Yeah. Kenneth, our boy, is
Matthew.
Thank you. Just taking wild guesses at names. I've become my father. I've become my father more and more. Who's that person you're dating? What's their name? I've been in a relationship with him for 6 years now.
It's always Kenneth with you, Dad.
It's like, why is there no one else here? And Karl's like, don't worry about it. We're playing baseball. There could have been. They couldn't get the extras there that night. That's how I rationalized it.
It's definitely like a cost saving thing, and but I think the director really went for it in a way that I think kind of worked with like these like creepy zoom ins on the empty bleachers, moving the bleachers.
Sure,
moving the bleachers. Sure. Like there were some good moments in this. Like there,
I thought it was cool and creepy too, and obviously they probably intended to have extras that day, but maybe they blew their budget on one of the other episodes and they just couldn't do it. So they're like, fuck it, we'll buy extra costumes for Karl and he'll play all the parts and it'll be really fucking fun.
I do like Karl playing all the part. Like that is a very appealing part of this this whole series of kind of this like omnipotent in Karlsville god who can just Jim carry the mask into whatever he needs to be in that moment.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The amount of cuts where he's just eating something in response to the tension of the episode.
Like the hot dog that he's constantly. We never even get to see him take a bite, which is so disappointing.
We see him get to take a bite of a burger, and then he has some peanuts and some popcorn.
That's right. He does he does a good gag with the peanuts. He eats them whole with the shell.
Yep. That's great. I like the many Karls gag. Then the Karlsville anthem is a thing that happens.
The Karlsville anthem that's Lynchian right there, Kevin.
Yeah.
That reminded me of whatchamacallit in Blue Velvet.
Sorry, Paul, you're the only Lynch scholar here, so if you don't know it, then none of us do.
It's Dean Stockwell singing Roy Orbison.
Wow.
It's that vibe. It's like 50s crooner vibe. And he's
he's from Sliders.
He is from Sliders. He's one of the greats. And using Karl for all these parts, I feel like it's like they knew they had Daniel Cash, right? They were like, we got a big guy. We got a guy.
We got Spunkmeyer?
They knew they had cash money.
And
they were going to spend it. Daniel
Cash money was on set. We got a night shoot. We got one kid. We only have so much time that we can use this kid for it. We are in Canada. There are less rules about this, but
the director kicks down the door, says, "We got cash in the bank, baby. Let's fucking roll.
Spend it."
And we all know Canada does have a national law that kids have to be indoors by 8 p.m. So it was going to be really hard to shoot this.
It's going to be very tough. So they cashed it in. They cashed in the check. They cashed the check. And he kills it. He kills it. He
does the check out to cash.
Make the check out to cash. He croons the anthem. We have a game of Ghost Man, a literal game of Ghost Man that's played. It's incredible. It's just an incredible sequence. Matthew has to go up to bat, and he has to face Pitchbot.
Rising out of the ground is a giant sentient pitching machine.
It comes out of the ground like one of the buildings in Evangelion, which I know is a joke that I would make. But that's all I could think of when I saw this obelisk erupt from the music
ground.
Was like...
Shinji, get in the Karlsville.
So he does manage to hit the ball eventually because it basically stops in midair for him to hit it like T-ball.
Karl gives him a freebie. He has two swings and misses, and then Karl is like, he's gonna throw a changeup next time, and gives him a little bit of a tip, and then the ball rests in front of him. Line drive.
And he goes, I can hit that.
And he does.
I just want to point out again that at no point has the child agreed to any sort of deal with the devil.
No.
Karl just said, I've kidnapped you. You need to play baseball. And so the kid is fine. There's no, I don't know. What does it matter?
No, there's no motivation being told to you yet. You're just you're along for the ride. You send yourself up to the beauty of the episodes in these.
Yeah,
give yourself up to Karl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This whole thing has a vibe of we have what we have, and we have a weekend and Mr. Cash and a few locations, and we can shoot it as best we can, and the digital effects team will do stuff to it later.
Mm-hmm.
But we just need to get this stuff done.
Having made a show like that, I totally understand it.
That's charming to me. I actually genuinely like stuff with that sort of energy, because I think Lord of the Rings, the movies have that energy as well.
Right, yeah.
Where things work out a little better in terms of time and budget and CG, but it still has that sort of, we've got what we've got, and we've got to film this fucking thing, so let's go.
Right.
To be fair, as much as I sound like I'm coming down on it, this is, for all of its faults, for all of its cracks and seams, a much more interesting episode of the TV show than most of them.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe because they can go weird. Maybe the writers were a little more, they had the sensibilities for live action TV or whatever. Things happen much more than just I can't get this mask off for 22 minutes. There's a lot more to it.
It's much easier, I think, to make a thing knowing that it's going to be filmed first than it is to be how do we film Monster Blood?
Right. Yeah, you have to retrofit, right? Whereas this is this was definitely something that they wrote, and they might have done it on a tight schedule.
Sure.
And it kind of feels like that because it sort of feels like they're just like, I don't know, what are the set pieces? Okay, we can get a baseball field. All right, the kid plays baseball. That's going to be where we teach him his lesson about something. I don't know what it is, but we're going.
But we already booked the baseball field. We're just going to do it.
We already booked the baseball field. We got Daniel Cash. Let's cash that check.
Cash.
I don't know if the writers or directors had really considered at the time about the complexities of, so when he's trying to steal from first to second, a giant lava pit will open. But they tried.
I thought, look, at least there's some actual tension in this
Yes.
in this sequence.
Mhm.
The first base runs away from Matthew as he's running towards it, and it's a fun little
to clarify, it
levitates
and flies away.
Yeah, and he's got like a goofy chase scene with it, and then he tricks it by looking the other way and then doing a quick turnaround. And gets it and lands himself safe on base one. And then baseball stops being baseball and it becomes, I don't know, man, get to the next base alive. Is the game we're playing.
What are the stakes? I don't know.
What are the stakes? Yeah.
The PitchBot 9000 turns around and starts annihilating cardboard cutouts of Matt with baseballs as he's chained to the floor.
Yeah, it becomes a carnival game with fat heads of Matthew on either side of him. And he, which at first they were just knocking over, like they were being hit by like a BB gun and falling over. And I was like, you could have had those things explode apart. And then they do, before it's going to shoot at Matthew, have it rip the head off of the one next to him, which I thought was good. They made it a little tense. So Matt's dodging and weaving. Oh, and his feet get strapped into the base that he's on or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's stuck on this conveyor belt. He unties his shoes. He gets away, thwarting PitchBot. I think PitchBot surrenders surrenders to his
PitchBot
cleverness.
retires in shame.
Yeah, he retires in shame because he was out clevered. And that's when the abyssal pit of Mordor opens up.
Yeah,
and he has to cross it.
Great effect. I actually love how they like zoom in on his feet as he's walking the tightrope over the lava.
It works.
It shows a confidence that they're like, yeah, it's lava. You guys get it. We did this with digital effects, baby,
and it works. At least in the low quality YouTube version. For like the 480 signal that was being sent out in 1998, this works, right?
Yeah,
like it works.
Yeah.
And he gets across. He makes it to the second base, and he's like, all right, or is this the third base? I guess that he's at this point.
There might have been like 5 bases in this one.
Yeah,
I don't know because at what point does the next part happen where
this is third base to home?
Third base to home. Karl, who is both his coach and also his antagonist, is like, yeah, watch for my signals. I'll give you either like the sacrifice or the...
He's like, what do you like? Do you like the stretch play or the squeeze play or the sacrifice? And then when he does that, I don't know. I think Matthew gets confused or upset or something like that. And then for some reason he punishes him by summoning 2 boar players.
Can you please clarify what you mean by that? Paul?
We reused the makeup from episode 1 to create 2 boar players because we have that makeup artist on hand and the prosthetics, so we use them again. And we create 2 horrors, and then they have what in baseball is called they call the rundown or the pickle, which they also reference it as, where a player is caught between third and home or wherever between 2 bases, and the 2 players are throwing the ball back and forth in an effort to try and get them out. And he has to outsmart them. He's dodging and weaving. They can't stop him. And then Madball shows up.
Oh my god, this fucking prop.
That was the David Lynch thing, I assume, right? That's a
Cronenberg
90s
thing.
sticker come alive.
This is Cronenberg. This is also like Lord of the Rings. This is like the fucking speaker for
the mouth of Sauron.
The mouth of Sauron. It's a true horror, a really terrifying image. Like
the shiny wet gums really sell it, I think.
If I have as a kid had looked at when I was bored at baseball, when I'm sitting in the dugout hating the sport, wishing my dad didn't make me play it. I have imagined, the curves on the baseball, the stitches would be really cool if there was like teeth there.
Did you really?
And that's what this is. Yeah. I thought there's something just kind of that looked like an open screaming face to me. I had literally nothing else to do other than wish I was not there. So this became a real monster in here, and I was very, very pleased by it.
It's scary.
And then he just kind of makes it home.
Yeah, he just avoids Monster Ball, and he gets home, and then Karl's mad because, I don't know, again, who knows what Karl's motivation was other than being
for both of these, both first two episodes, it doesn't seem like if Karl had succeeded that they would have ended up becoming plasticked like the third. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jessica, she's a pig, and the villagers don't eat her, and then she joins the town or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt just falls asleep. He just falls asleep.
Yeah, I think the demon ball comes out of the world briefly.
Yeah. Briefly, yeah.
And then turns maybe back to regular ball. I can't recall too well. And then I think he just falls asleep. I think he's just exhausted from his experience.
Falls asleep in his baseball uniform again.
And then I think Jessica comes in at this point. Episode 2 ends with Todd being sucked in.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, you're totally right.
He does,
right, yeah. Little brother Todd wanders in and is like, yo, whoa.
It's actually a great a moment that I wrote down because I was like, how the fuck did that make any sense? Again, like, things are flying. The plot is flying by. Matthew falls down and Jessica comes running in because she realizes that somehow that they took the model and brought it into the thing where she's looking for Matthew. Oh, that's right. She comes in to talk to him about the baseball card. I think she's having a crisis of conscience.
I took that too. She was like, she must have been scared straight and wanted to return her previous deals.
Karl's trickery has worked on her, and she's going to return the card. She sees the model and she goes, how did that get in here? And Matthew goes, you were sucked in too, instantly knowing that she was sucked into it just because of her recognition of the model that he stole from in front of her house. Very strange moment. They're like, we got to get rid of this thing or something. I don't know. They leave the room.
Let's go have some pie.
Let's have some pie.
They decide to walk out of the room.
Let's have some pie and talk about it. And
we gotta talk, so we should obviously have some pie. Talking pie.
And then Todd is walking by with his lottery forms that he was filling out at dinner, which I thought was a great moment where he's like, thousands of people play, somebody's got to win, admitting that there's no chance that he's going to win this, but he still thinks he's going to. He still enters. He has hope that it could work out, and he wins. He wins a lottery ticket for Karlsville. He wins the Karlsville lottery.
I think this is important. He gets physical, human-sized mail.
That's true. He does
from Karl in Karlsville.
Where does that mail come from?
Karl has some way to influence the real world. I don't know. He's got a stamps.com account.
He printed that himself in Karlsville.
Yeah. They have all those giant mill buildings, so, you're good.
If you saw inside the big factories, little men were making giant letters for people.
Yeah, he's just got, a Canon printer in there.
Yeah, they had a fucking town-wide effort where the town came together and crafted this giant letter, which they mailed from Karlsville to Todd's house. Todd got it. And he opens up. He's like, "Oh, I won! I'm the winner of Karlsville." And then he hears carnival music coming from his brother's room. Goes in to inspect it, and they suck him in. I don't know. Somehow they suck him in. He looks at the model and it sucks him in. And that is where
the deal has been brokered.
Deal has been brokered, and he is in there. And to be continued. We're going to the next episode. Escape from Karlsville
with a cold open.
I'm sorry. There we go. Yep. Karl shows up looking a little fashy, a little bit of a fascist look going on here.
Karl's got the black plastic coat on, and he's he rolls up in a convertible like Gary Oak.
Mm-hmm.
And
what a pull. While we're calling him fashy, by the way, I did notice that I think in this third episode you see some Karlsville logos that aren't just company names. There seems to be a couple doors that Karl slips into where there's a very a serifed K with a lightning bolt going through it. And I was like, that feels a little Nazi-ish.
Right.
There's a little, there's something, I thought we were going to find out he was an old German scientist and he shrunk himself down to the No, you won't find any of that. But I thought that was teasing at a bigger reveal.
Chad, if he was an escape Nazi, that would have been the greatest twist.
Yeah. I hid from the Nuremberg trials by shrinking myself down to a model village.
Yeah, we were researching that during World War II, and I was in charge of that. and I used
Hitler
it.
was like, find the Holy Grail or make me small. And we got one of them right.
I do love that there are little posters for the Plasto Blaster hidden around.
Are there? I missed that.
Oh, that's cool.
The thing I picked up, I can't remember what book it was, but there were a couple signs for actual Goosebumps books in as store signs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh, I didn't notice that either.
I
That's
didn't write.
rad.
I didn't write it down, but I noticed one. Yeah. So he shows up in the. There's a parade happening. It's all for Todd. And Karl shows up in his Hugo Boss looking plastic outfit.
It's all for you, Todd.
It's all for you, Toddian. And he does what he loves to do the most, which is lift up children by their armpits.
Yes, dude, I made a note of that too. He does that so much.
He picks up children by their armpits all the time.
He picked up Nikki in the first episode, which was
very strange. He picked up Nikki, put Nikki on a table, and introduced Nikki to Jess.
not without effort either. Like he could do it, but it seemed like that was like the 500th take, and like.
Yeah, he'd been lifting this kid a lot. So I think he tells him like he won an award and he's going to get his prize, right? And then we cut back to where
most of this episode. Okay, Paul. Please,
this episode is okay. This is the worst episode in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, and the worst part of this episode is the Matthew and Jessica sequence because it's really boring. Nothing's happening. Mm-hmm. We cut back from the parade to Jessica and Matthew. Walking into the room being like, where'd your brother go? Oh no, his telltale lottery forms are here. He must have gotten sucked in. And then for some reason, Jessica was paying attention to the town population count, which was apparently at 100, which was now at 101.
Yeah. They did not show that in the previous episodes that it goes up when either of them go in, but this is now the
Chad,
smoking gun.
To your point, I think there's a lot of stuff in this that was cut, right? Like, I think this thing was severely cut down to make time.
Really?
I think.
I thought about that, Paul. I thought about that exact thing. Were there big ideas that were cut down, and then I thought about how the walk across the lava part was like 3 minutes long.
Right.
The pacing in the second one is really weird because there's just like a solid minute of Matt feeling bad and just sort of like moping around his room. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, I
think this should have been 2 episodes, and I don't know. Maybe they knew it was going to be 3 the whole time, I guess. But like, it needed a 4th episode. It needed another 20 minutes.
It's structurally strange because it is almost like a way to string together unconnected horror plots, right? Like, girl turns into a pig, demon baseball, and we're gonna plastic you, I guess.
Plasto Blaster.
You could theoretically make those 3 separate Goosebumps stories,
right?
But I thought it was cool that there's this like whole framing device of it all comes from Karlsville. But because of it kind of fights against each other where you're just waiting for the next kid to get pulled in. And then, like you said, you're following a lot of the other 2 kids just kind of like getting to what we already know it's going to happen.
Yeah, they're staring at this model town in this sequence until they get in there, just looking at it. Now, the incidental music during this sequence kicks ass. It's more of that awesome music that we were talking about at the beginning of this episode.
Oh yeah,
it's
good shit.
Rocks, and that's the only thing that carries you through these not exciting sequences.
And Karl's charisma.
We go back, and Karl's like, "Oh, your prize is in this warehouse," and he marches Todd into the warehouse and does this ridiculous toe turn, just like swivels on his on his toe, and looks off into the distance. And again. Daniel cash money, baby.
That's cash you can keep.
I'd love to. You can put that in the bank. I'd love to talk to him about this process, about this shoot.
If we could, if Daniel Cash, if somehow Daniel Cash hears this and would love to come on, I would love to talk about this.
Yeah. Because he's doing a lot of work.
Daniel Cash is good work.
Carrying these 3 episodes.
I don't think we can work around his schedule.
No,
I think he's too busy.
He's legit. He's a working actor. There's no way we're going to get Daniel Cash on the show.
Oh yeah. Also, we're mentioning that like Jessica Walters, the actress of her, she's like in 200 episodes of Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
She's working.
Yeah. They had some talent in this episode. They had some good talent.
So I feel like we're not really recapping it because it's kind of just telling you what you already knew for the rest of this episode.
There's not a lot that happens in this episode. He takes him into the warehouse and he says, "Unveil the Plasto Blaster," which is a beautiful line.
if you go into a dark building with someone, an adult, they say "Unveil the Plasto Blaster," watch out.
It's incredible.
This is almost more interesting as screenshots than it is as an actual episode. If you see the screenshot, that's like the YouTube thumbnail of the third. By the way, you can type anything into a YouTube search bar. That's not illegal.
No.
If you see like the thumbnail of like the third episode, it's an amazing image of a child holding a plastic orange with plastic Barbie people behind him being terrified.
Ponder the orange orb. We were getting ready to watch these episodes and we typed anything we wanted into the YouTube search bar. And
you can do that. You can just type stuff into YouTube. It's not illegal.
You will not get in trouble.
Kevin, I want you to do like the more you know type like promo where you just talk directly at the camera. Like you can type anything.
We were getting ready to do this and we like found the links for the episodes and we saw that thumbnail and I think we all knew we were in for a magical event.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a Soundgarden music video.
So Matt and Jess sort of Mulder and Scully around very slowly in the in Karlsville, which doesn't have a lot to do when Karl isn't around. So they're just kind of in empty lots, just sort of walking.
That could have been scary, though.
I know.
That could have been.
They have a hard time getting in, too. They figure out that if they turn the dial to the town's population counter, it will suck them in. Again, the rules are fast and loose for how you get into Karlsville.
Imagine, if you will, though, for a moment, just with me, if they're sneaking around, behind the scenes, they've no-clipped into Karlsville. And like, because Karl, who is running all of this and is telling us that, like, he runs this town and he makes people into plastic people to join his city. Like, he is not mentally aware of manipulating the rest of the town. If Jessica and Matthew were sneaking around and there's just like plastic people just like frozen in place because they're not active, that could have been like really fucking creepy, right?
Yeah,
like that part of the simulation isn't on right now.
I mean, that's kind of what happens. But here's something that I just realized now. If they can turn up the population counter to go into the thing, couldn't they just turn down the population counter to get people out of the thing?
Oh, they didn't try it.
You could just empty Carlsberg of all the souls that have been trapped there.
God, you're right. You're right.
And you unleash Karl into the world, but I don't think he has like powers if he's not in his build.
The end of this episode is like, isn't that dangerous? I'm like, I don't think so.
He's just a small man.
He has the power to create a full-size piece of mail, at least.
Well, so Karl, with the group, like Gulliver's Travels, they can take down one person. So there's something about that was really throwing me. I understand they're just doing what they can. Where speaking actors in this, if they're part of Karlsville, like Karl has a local beauty pageant winner that we don't know who she is or what, but she's kind of like his second in command during this episode.
Bride of Karl.
Bride of Karl. She seems like a very nice lady, got kind of a Kesha vibe going on. But then like around her, everyone else in this laboratory, and supposedly Karl built this. We don't know. Did he come from the town? I don't know. But like everyone else has these really gross, plastic default lipstick faces. And then they just put saran wrap over all of their clothes.
Right.
Yeah. And it works. It's very creepy.
I wouldn't want any of them touching me.
No,
not a single bit.
They all have like this sheen about them that if not like slimy, it's goopy.
Yeah. I think it's up there in terms of each episode has a good scare in it. And I think this sequence is very terrifying looking. It's very uncanny. There's a great moment where Cash, aka Karl, takes a real apple or peach or something and bites into it and then plastifies it. And then I love how he shows Todd what he's doing. He bounces it off of something that's in the room, catches it, and then does a cool backwards. It's just slick as hell. Again, Daniel Cash.
He's not really doing character swapping in this one as much as he was the second one, but Karl is wearing like the most stylish, like leader of Scientology sparkling
black suit is iconic.
It's so good. It's so, and with the plastic lab coat, the white plastic lab coat over the black plastic Nazi suit is just, it's so fucking crazy.
Oh, it's beautiful stuff. The costuming was great for Karl.
Oh yeah, and the costuming was great like throughout the episodes. Like,
yeah. Besides the fact that the kids had to wear the cleats in bed, I was on board with a lot of the costume choices
and stuff. I mean, I get why it had to happen because he had to have cleats on when he went into the.
He had to have the cleats on so that because there's specifically a line that Karl says, "Well, you're dressed for it," and then that's why the baseball starts. So they had to have that.
We did skip over Karl's maybe best line to me of the entire trilogy was when Matthew is starting to kind of piece together like, why am I even here? What happened? He's like, well, you know, that's why they call it Little League. And I was like, that's right. Good,
that's right.
That's pretty good.
So
it looks like they're gonna turn this little boy into
a plastiman.
Yeah,
plastiman. There's some creepy stuff of like, you pick what color you're going to be. I assume he meant like.
Yeah, there's a lot of edging going.
Tons of edging. For
lack of a better word.
Tons of edging. Plastic edging, yeah.
Oh, you mean like building up towards like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna plasticize this kid.
Yeah.
Todd tries to lie about his father being very rich. Todd, your father's not very. Maybe he seems rich to you. You live a good middle class lifestyle, Todd. Let's be real about this.
Here's the thing, Todd. Your dad's not rich. Just the '90s. Everyone can afford a house.
Everyone's rich.
I appreciated that Todd was trying to get out of it at least.
Yeah, oh yeah. He senses the edging, right? So he's like, well, there's a chance for me to escape this edging. So he tries. He tries to find. He does the classic Bond. You know, like, what is this all about? Why are you trying to do this? To which Karl reveals his motivation to us. Finally, 3 episodes into this trilogy, which fuck them kids. He literally says, "It's a hobby. I'm bored, so I just do this. So I turned kids to plastic."
Yeah.
The most telling thing about, I get you can't completely get off the origin of why Karl is here. I think that's kind of an interesting mystery that would have been fun to unravel.
Yeah.
But at least him saying it passes the time, like torturing kids, specifically kids, is like, all right, well, you are trapped here. This isn't like you by choice. So there is something about it that makes him more nefarious in that way.
Right.
And that he wants power. He wants to build his town because he runs Barter Town.
Right. Yep. And Bullet Town and Guzzling Town. He gives a great line too right before he's about to turn him plastic. There's actually 2 great lines, but the one that got me really good was, "I'm going to turn you plastic now and forever tiny." I think that right there, one of the writers I know won an Emmy. I looked on their IMDb, and I think that line deserved one as well. And then Karl, we're hopping back and forth between Matthew and Jessica, like harumphing around town.
Very slowly walking towards.
Very slowly until they find the tiny door that leads into the warehouse that they go inside of. And then I love this another great line where this is right before it's about to happen, right before he's about to turn the Plasto Blaster on. He just has to let Todd know, did I tell you this is going to hurt? And Todd says no, and he says, well, it is. And I love at this point, he's just torturing a small child. And then Matthew and Jessica show up in the nick of time to rip the Plasto Blaster apart, and it is destroyed.
And pulling out the plug somehow makes the electricity go explosive. I don't know, maybe they're...
Sure.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
And Star Trek's out, and they grab Todd, and they leave, but they don't have much of a plan, and the citizens start to surround them. But then...
Also, Karl is God here, so he's kind of just like teleporting ahead of them constantly.
Yeah.
Taunting them.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he doesn't want to touch them because that's gross.
No, they're not plastic yet.
Yeah. They're impure.
If he had been like... Karl did great, and he is clearly the best part of this whole trilogy. If there had been some kind of like him being a hypochondriac, or like...
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Like and he wants to preserve everyone in plastic so they're perfect. You know, that'd been fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I needed a star baseball player. I needed a savvy business person. You know,
you
like
had that whole thing with cards. Like he could have been collecting people for his town. Like
yes.
I don't have the full set yet.
Yes, that's what I think. That would have worked. Dang! If we could have gone back in time and worked on this. Fuck.
So what a way for this episode to resolve. Do one of you boys want to kind of talk about
Kevin
our Deus Ex
All right.
machine?
Bring us in, Kevin.
The best
Deus Ex
god from the machine ever is a literal So Todd and Matt's mom is vacuuming Matt's room.
Mm-hmm.
When she absentmindedly like holds the vacuum over the cardboard Karlsville, which sucks up a bunch of the I don't want to say NPCs, the villagers,
the Plasto folk.
I know, isn't it terrible how like alt-right people ruin the term NPCs?
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
And that's just the distraction the kids need in order to juke Karl and get out of there, because they're trying to get in the vacuum.
Yes.
So they run towards the vacuum and wouldn't you know it, instead of killing them outright, it just sucks them out of Karlsville.
For some reason, 100 plastic people are presumably captured and shattered inside the vacuum.
They stay the same size. They stay the same size because I think that gotta only assume that you don't change. All that it does is it shrinks down human people, but the small
they've been
little
plasticized.
The plasticized, they're stuck like that.
Sure,
exactly.
Sure.
I do love the scene where they spit in circles with their hands in the air before they get sucked up. I think that was really funny looking.
Also, Matt does an Indiana Jones and goes back for his hat.
The hat, and I love Karl's reaction where he's just like, "Ow!" pounding on the ground after he misses him. Great little moment. They get sucked out. They fly onto the bed with Dad. Dad's like, "Where the hell did you come?" They get sucked out, and they think they're safe. They feel like they did it right.
And then in the most like dark but rational decision ever, they burn Karlsville.
And they burn Karlsville, and presumably every person, because they are like hunting through. You see them like sorting through the buildings. There's even kind of a weird cliffhanger commercial break. When they first start looking through them, to then cut to later they are burning them in the fireplace.
Yep.
I was confused by this moment where it seems like they are holding Karl's body in their hand. They won't show it. Like they're holding something, like that's got to be Karl, right? And then they point to like a face in the fire, a little tiny plastic face.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really get what's going on there.
So and Jessica's like wishes you well, and then I presume it's like his headless body.
Oh, it could be like the Karl, because remember Karl could like, there were like multiple Karls in episode 2. It could be that there are just many little Karls around.
Okay,
that'd be
like,
interesting.
Yeah,
I could buy on that. Yeah,
telehops and do or whatever. And as long as there's one Karl left, then the Karl consciousness lives on.
It's like the blood of Chucky. Yeah, you have to finish it all off. Yeah,
sure.
And he just we get an amazing scene where he slides out of the vacuum like whoa,
and he's in plastic form here.
Yeah,
and then he drops out this or no, that's right. They have the killer line of the kid says, "Next time, pick on someone your own size." And then Karl comes sliding out, gives us a beautiful little face. And we know he ain't up to no good. And then, then all of the rest of the Goosebumps books are a result of Karl's evil actions. I'm saying it here.
Tiny little Karl moving around the house like the mouse of the motorcycle, just causing chaos.
And that's the Chillogy, baby.
Oh, that's the Chillogy. At least one of you asked for this.
If you want to request more episodes, more books, certain titles, maybe more Ghoulastic book clubs where we're reading offshoot YA stuff like last episode's Animorphs, what would be the best place to go to both also support the show and have your voice heard?
Well, probably our Discord.
Which you can get
How would you
access
get on
to.
that Discord?
You can get access to by joining our Patreon if you would like. I know that this one was found on a subreddit, but that is like winning a lottery for Karlsville. That's the level of chance that happens. If you want the best chance of having your voice heard, you need to get over to our Patreon. You need to get on our Discord, and you can make your recommendations on there.
Yeah. You can also find us on Twitter at GoosebudsPod, and you can tell us what you think of the words we said into the microphone for this episode there.
No, thank you for joining us for another episode of Goosebuds. And if you want to hear about Ice Church and what's going on with Ice Church, again, come join our Patreon. We have Camp Goosebuds, where we're going to get into the deep rules of Ice Church.
Yeah. Next camp, we're definitely not going to get distracted by a random tangential topic, and we're going to talk all about Ice Church. We're nailing down the rules.
We're an Ice Church podcast now.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being my friends and talking about this with me.
Yeah, thanks for being my friend. I'm about ready to cash out.
Daniel Cash, baby. Daniel fucking Cash. Out.
Daniel Cash. See you guys. Until next time. This episode of Goosebuds is brought to you by our wonderful Patreon supporters, and they are in the Book of Names.
The Book of Names, which we have randomized for this particular reading.
Oh, there used to be a set order to it. Maybe you could figure it out, but now it's random.
You don't know where your name's going to be.
Starting with Ryan Carroll,
Greg Musto,
Limp Duck,
Andre Villanueva,
Hollis Hornbeak,
Streak,
Hey Josh Robb,
Michael McDowell,
Low Belly Hate Me,
Juan Jalapena,
Dennis Wright,
Germ Juice,
Soggy Newspapers,
Afsheen,
Daryl Flynn.
Wiggle It. Man, I already didn't expect to wiggle it right there. This is
I know,
fun.
the Wiggle It came out of nowhere. Justin Wagman,
Peter McGregor.
Something I Love, Broccoli. Hey, pause for a second. I gotta get Paul off.
Oh no, he got Paul off the podcast.
Got Paul off the Book of Names.
Reed Stubendeek,
Scotty Pippen,
Reinfected,
Tom Whittam,
Lord Cornwallis,
Jacob Rogers,
Jover the Moon,
Chris Putricus,
Dakota Kemp,
Thomas Jansis,
Anthony Rodriguez,
The Crowfeds,
Matthew Stevens,
Tanya Turtle,
Matt Septor,
Esteminia, Lord of Paul's Pants.
Lord over an empty realm,
Oh, those pants just sit there in a void with no butts to fill them.
Jeremy Bowser,
Shuddering Stefan,
yeah,
Lucretia McEvil,
Christian Vanskiver,
Skelefella,
Dr. Diarrhea,
A Pair of Scots,
Coleman Lagusa,
Brendan Arafin,
John W.,
Mickey C,
Adam Muth,
Michael Kupka,
Cardboard Walk,
Jar Jar Slinks.
Andrew Jadzik agrees UHF is better than Back to the Future. Hell yeah.
Whoa! I don't know if had one of us said that already.
did.
I mean,
I did.
Okay, I guess so. Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I
Andrew.
know so. Thanks, Andrew.
Devaldi,
Kumo Jackoff,
Dungeon Kappa,
Carewise Gamgee,
Matthew Britato,
Spencer Y,
Joe Regular Name Scott,
Matt Skellerman,
some of Chad's bird friends. I
Oh.
just heard them screaming.
yay, Brookex,
Bjarndir,
Flemily has BDE, Big Dwarf Energy,
Cameron Hansen,
Brad Schmelzer,
Girthworm Jim.
Wagmar Wigmere,
Hey Eric, it's gonna be all right. You're doing a great job.
even though you didn't expect to be in this spot, Eric.
Yeah,
The randomized list is crazy right now.
in all worlds and all timelines, you're doing a great job, Eric.
Maloyster,
Kiwi of Lerv,
Lee Wood,
Kelly C,
Dango Twiss,
Trent Davis.
Robert Allen Cook III is back,
Whoa! Russell Kasberg,
Nathan Gurney,
Jeremy Lowe,
When Dragons Rule,
Sarah Kemp,
Dan,
Evan Bowen,
Levi Than,
John Pigeon Hat Barber,
Dr. Egg Drop Soupman,
Zack Snyder,
Redemption,
Mike Lynn Terry,
Miguel Pardo,
Calf,
Ernie Burger's Bumpy World, Ernie,
Is that how you're doing the tildes? I love it.
Yeah, I think that's how Strong Bad pronounces them.
Ah, good.
Yes.
You know, it's also good. Jason Crooker.
Oh, Rum Daddy.
Hey, Bryce Diori.
Generally depressing.
Aiden Alexander Dice.
Cameron Murphy Audio.
John Keaty.
Jonas Blatterman.
SSJ Trogdor.
Trogdor. Henry Torbert.
Jesus Christ.
Gekenti.
Stephen Day.
Brian Hobgood.
Odins_eyehole.
Peanutberg level 69.
Liam Rogers.
Matthew Sutton.
Ham_boat.
Nicholas Maloney.
Elusive Koala.
Robert Moon.
Timothy Misodolakis.
Ali Safe.
Serial Killer X.
Calamity Carl.
Lamb.
That one got me. Jeffrey Owen Kahi.
The John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation.
Chicago Frank.
Zambambino.
Jackie Ledoux.
Brian Wells.
MC Hamster.
Megan McCormick Mason.
Josh Howell.
Cody Redfield.
Ben Bohan.
Julian Lamendia.
Hood Lemon.
Ninja Breadmen.
Jimmy Soul.
Ryan R. Davis.
Llamo Lad.
Meet Virginia.
Dom's Dirty Download Donger.
Maddie.
Third Sergio.
Nathan Dolzal.
Joe.
Zankeith.
David Gray.
Anne Marie.
Levi Kidder.
Eric K.
Greg Gervasi, a.k.a. Vitizen.
What's up?
Hey, buddy.
Mandy Nasty.
David Lynch, XXX. Brendan Fraser, 666.
Mel Dipson.
Zach Bentley.
Alex Moon, the robotic dog.
Scott Wabble.
Chip Handsome.
Moon Juice.
Jonas Engman.
Xavier Jimenez.
Paul Grasso.
Carson Birkenbean.
Murph EP.
Alan Saylor.
Elm Realm.
Carbson.
Vosivi.
Alecade.
Skullatorin.
Danky McStanky.
Drew Applegate.
Kit Bush.
Parker Lee.
Alicia Grafe.
Uncle Cool Brother.
Kieran McNamara.
Zach Connor.
I don't know, guys. I can't think of anything witty. My name's Kevin. My dad was an extra in the Avengers.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome, actually.
Tell us more stories about it through your Patreon name.
Yeah, I love that.
Patreon_donator, yo.
Adam Knapp.
Joe Spooky Digital Ghost Tierney.
Eric Horwitz.
Brett.
Mr. Unimportant.
I think you're pretty important. Got little old moi, pretty French.
Ched will make more paranoia shop the third.
Bradford Coulter.
Raymond Hernandez.
Clay McCarty.
Midwest Indigo 13.
Mutant Astronaut.
Tevin Ticklebean is your new best friend.
Pizza Bagel Rocco.
Stealth Bates.
Get back in the book of names, Zentacles. You can't escape.
Stefan Jive Turkey Kuwabara. Wow, really deep in the list for once.
How's it feel, Stefan? I don't know why we're bullying Stefan.
Yeah.
Mike Spaghetti Jones.
Diet Soda.
Keith Halcrow.
Dom Sexy Ghost, aka Captain Sick.
Kelsey Kinnaman.
Liam Newsonstow.
Hugh Bolin.
Kenny M.
Adam Ya Goofed.
Milk Punk.
Sean Minogue.
Carl.
Alan G. Jussum.
Check.
Logan Derby.
Tiffany Lee.
Matt McKellen.
Vincent Modica.
Jonas Evan Volson.
Philip Reynolds.
Joey Evans.
Cameron Ganzeveld.
Yanni Markovina.
Dakota Kipper.
Patrick Reynolds.
Chili Dish Gambino.
976 Evil.
Luke Canoodles.
Sniggy.
Ishak Arifin.
Nathan Remick.
Dr. Chocula.
Wormtown Glenn.
Benjamin Luther. I just wanted to do your voice. It was fun. I liked it.
Oh, thanks, man. Likewise. Zach Weir.
Buddy Morrill.
Turaku, maybe.
Oh. Edgar's Crassus?
B.
Chris.
Gregory D. Warren.
Up and Champ.
Chosen One.
Clay Castle.
Mr. Misfire.
Tobias Clark.
Nick Johnson.
The Davy Boy is the last name in our book.
Thank you all so very, very much. We love you all. Even Paul, who is in a void right now.
Yeah.
He'll be back soon.
He's not dead. I lied. He's alive. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.